morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's program of In Between Us. My name is Emily Cheputo, brought to you by Elpa Media Kenya. And today we are going to be discussing about peace. And with me today, I have visitors. I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves and then we'll proceed.
Thank you so much. My name is Rebecca Kere. I am the founder of Girl Transform Initiative, and also we are the lead partners towards the Peace Summit that is coming up on 3rd July. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rebecca. Welcome.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, where you are. My name is Martha Biong. I'm representing refugees community in Eldoret. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much, Rebecca and Martha. Yeah, Martha is representing the refugee communities in Eldoret. And Rebecca, as she has told us, she's the executive director of an organization, a community-based organization called Girl Transform Initiative. Yeah, Becky, you've talked about you are planning for a peace summit. Yeah, maybe you can tell us briefly about what is it that you're planning in the peace summit.
Okay, thank you so much for that. First of all, I want to welcome everyone to the Peace Summit. And first of all, why we are doing the Peace Summit? We saw the growing need of especially the coexistence between the refugees community and the host community. And also we are approaching the election period. And as you can understand, mostly the youth are the ones who are normally radicalized towards hooliganism. Sometimes they're the ones who will be persuaded to maybe cause mayhem among the community. So we said, for peaceful coexistence, why don't we come together and have a dialogue on how we can tackle the issues of root causes of conflict. We're also going to talk about planting the seed of peace among the two communities, the host and the refugee community, and also how are we going to harvest this peace. This will come in form of resolutions that we'll have at the end of the day. So we want to be champions of peace, and as we are starting, we believe that an empowered youth will be empowered to stand for peace in this community, in Uasin Gishu, and even in Kenya as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Becky. Yeah, maybe I'll ask you, Martha. What made you to, as the refugees community, what is it that inspired you to partner with this other organization to be able to come up with this peace summit?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. What inspired us as refugees? You know, we have been refugees in Kenya for long, and now there is a program which came up by the government called Sirika Plan. That Sirika Plan is meaning that integrating refugees into Kenyan, where they can access all the services Kenyan are accessing, whether it is education, health care, and etc. So in this peace summit, we are very important agent in it, because refugees also compose of the youth and also women and children, and we need also to coexist with our host community. It's very important to have peace with them, because they are our host community. So this peace summit is going to open our mind and even guide us on how we can coexist with the host community, and even give guidelines and direction and even impact of how we are going to coexist with host community, because it is important to have peace where you are. Even in back in our country, even we have communities where we have also issues, but it can be addressed. So this peace summit is going to address some of these issues, which can give us a resolution of coexisting or living in a peaceful environment with our host community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mother. Maybe back to you, Becky. Yeah, I think we'll tutatumia lugha zote. Yeah, for the sake of our listeners who are, yeah, we understand there's some from the refugee community that don't understand Kiswahili, but will be mixing for the sake of everyone to be able to get the message. Yeah, pengine Becky tuambie, who are your target stakeholders in this summit, and how did you decide to maybe settle on them, and what exactly are you trying to address? What are the exact issues that you're going to address in the summit? Okay. Yes.
Our major participant for this Peace Summit, number one, are the youths, the women, the opinion leaders, every person you realize in the community. Even the peace start from our household. So these people, when we bring them together, you realize youths are majorly, especially susceptible towards radicalization. And also the women, we realize when there is no peace, even in war, women are always the ones who are left to suffer. So why we target this, the youths and the women and even the opinion leaders and government representatives, is because this conversation starts with all of us. And once we come to a point whereby we agree to have this dialogue and coexist with each other, you realize once we form this, how will I put it? How we'll put this together in the sense that this conversation, we plant this seed of peace and identify the root causes of conflicts that affect us. We'll find solution whereby even after the election, we are able to live in a peaceful environment. And also you realize women are the champions of peace. When youth become the champion of peace too, we'll have a peaceful environment even here in Uasin Gishu and Kenya as a whole. So those are our target participants and everyone actually. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Becky. Yeah, maybe if I can take you back to the 2007 elections. Yes. I don't know if you were in Uasin Gishu County at that time?
Yes, I was Gishu County, but I was very young to understand what was happening. But you realize it affected everybody. It affected the household, the children, the women, even the men. So this conversation cut across everyone. So once we start these conversations early, we realize we can have a solution to prevent even this conflict. Once I see my neighbor as my brother and as my sister, we realize that we'll be able to maybe prevent conflict that may arise from this. So 207 is an experience that we don't want to see existing again or to repeat itself. So once, how we can stop this is to have conversation, because dialogue brings peace. And once we have dialogue among ourselves and come up with solutions that will enable us maybe even identify the hotspot areas that we can be able to prevent this maybe conflict. So I think even right now you can see the environment right now is charged. So how can we tackle this? By conversation and realize that we respect each other's opinion, at the same time we live with peace among ourselves.
Yeah, thank you very much, Becky. Yeah, let me go back to Martha. Were you in Eldoret at that time when we were doing elections in the year 2007?
I was not in Eldoret, but I know Eldoret because I've been passing, going to Nairobi, sometimes I pass here, but I follow up.
Yeah, because you realize Eldoret has been a hotspot, and during the 2007 elections, it was terrible, and we realized that most of the people who started the war were youths and women. So I don't know, how are you going, what exact initiatives are you going to initiate, and what impact do you expect to have? Is it that you're just going to have the peace summit for that day, then it ends there, or do you have a long-term plan? Yeah, because I believe these conflicts, they started a long time ago, and any little trigger can make it escalate even further. So by this peace summit, how do you intend to let it take place, and what are the expectations, and what are the plans to ensure that it is sustainable?
Okay, so for this Peace Summit, first of all, this is an inaugural event, so we'll be having it annually, because you realize peace is a continuous conversation. And even today, once we start this conversation, the target group that we are expected to even have the dialogue with, you realize there is an election that is coming. And even right now, it is charged. People have different opinions, but once how we are going to focus on the impact, one, we'll be holding this Peace Summit yearly to also have a scorecard. How have we managed to make sure that we've been able to identify the hotspots, we've been able to involve the youth and even the women and the opinion leader, keeping them accountable for the Peace Summit, because we are going to sign a memorandum to make sure that we'll follow up on each and every individual who's in this Peace Summit. So how we are going to keep up with it, we'll do a lot of community engagements. We'll also have a lot of dialogues with the youth still, and also we'll involve even the faith-based organization, the CSOs network, and also the government as part of it. Is that in this Peace Summit, we have the government office, like the county commissioner's office. We're also doing this in partnership with also the county government. So you realize these are government stakeholders and also the private stakeholders. So it cuts across. So how we are going to make sure we have the impact of this, it will be an inaugural, this is an inaugural event, but we shall be doing it yearly to make sure that even after the elections, these conversations continue. So at the end of the day, the youth also, we are going to make them be the champions of peace, because the peace that once the ambassadors of peace outside there, and also making sure that we follow up, because there's scorecard. We have to make sure all the conversations that we had, is it reached? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rebecca. Yeah, back to you, Martha. As a Sudanese community, maybe we, as we call them, the refugee community, how is your relationship with others? I know most of you are concentrated in one place. For you to decide to come up to participate in the summit, how is your relationship with your neighbors, the natives?
The host community?
The host community,
oh,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. As I mentioned that I'm representing refugees in Eldoret, I'm also a leader of refugees in Eldoret here. We are coexisting well. There is no much issues that between us and host community. And if, like for example, where I live in Pioneer, there are no issues between us and host community. It's not just a serious issue. You know, it's normal where community live together. It's always there is misunderstanding. But that misunderstanding is not taken so far. It can be resolved within a short time, the normal way.
Okay.
So there is no any serious issue with the communities who are in in Pioneer, where I live, and even those who are in Kapsoy. You know, in Kapsoy there are many of them. And even those who are in Kapsoy, the refugees who are in Kapsoy, they also have some issues among themselves as refugees, as South Sudanese refugees, apart from the issues they have with hosts. And mostly it is them who has a lot of issues among themselves than even with the hosts.
Okay.
It's just really sometimes small issues, not a very serious one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wherever there are small issues, just manage them the normal way, because in every community there has to be issues. Of
course, yeah, a
so
normal way.
With the hosts, you coexist peacefully.
Yeah, we coexist peacefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take a short break. Don't go far.